and say, hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. This is Sally Griffin, AKA Millionaire Yogi, and I help visionaries become world-changing influencers. And today, welcome everybody. I can see you coming in from all over the place. Shona, I see you. I see Mark. I'm just looking.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, nice to see you. We're dealing with a very interesting energy, Moon in Scorpio. And I don't know whether anybody else has had any experiences going on this week, but there's no surprise that the ancient love festival of Beltane, which is always May Eve, so the night before May Day is always Beltane night, and it goes into May Day. And the nearest moon to it is always Moon in Scorpio, full moon in Scorpio, because we're in Taurian season. So we've got the actual sun sign of Taurus, which is very much earthy and balance and sensuality and great business and great food. And, you know, it's like the fruits of the earth is what Moon in Taurus is. Sorry, Taurus is. And then what you've got is Moon in Scorpio, which happens around Beltane, which has got this frequency of sexuality hitting sensuality. But as I was reading, in the old patriarchal ways, anything that was considered super feminine, if you like, feminine sexuality to do with fertility, and this is the marriage, we've just had the marriage of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, it was also considered suspicious. And I've noticed that when I look at old readings, old tarot, old correspondences, if you like, of anything to do with a really strong indication of feminine meets a really strong indication of sexuality, then we can see when the meanings were written, and they were back in medieval times. Often some of the tarot is as old as 1400s. And there comes with it the suspicion of the feminine. There's the suspicion of feminine sexuality being at its full forefront. And so some of the meanings associated with Scorpio moon means there's suspicious activity, secretive behavior. There could even be sinister. But remember what the original meaning of sinister means, the left-hand path. So it actually means, even in Italian now, left hand is sinistra, sinistra, but it used to mean the tantric path. So as I was talking on Beltane, I was doing my Facebook Live, I was talking about this whole connection. You've got a really strong connection with when you have sexuality with sensuality, and any spiritual paths that come in with a tantric nature, which always are ultimately the balance of male and female, but the balance of male and female sexual. So they're sexualized. So it's full sexual expression of the male. In other words, he is represented with an erection, and full sexual expression of the female. And she is represented as inviting and seductive. That's what you've got right now. And then you've got this layering on top of that, which is the suspicion of many of the control religions to any of that behavior. I did read once, because I was a history student, that in the time of, I think it was around the 1500s in England, between a man and a wife, there were only really about 11 days, so that wasn't even once a month, that you were considered acceptable if you had sex with your husband. Every other day had some kind, like, so you think 365 days, and then they've given 11 days, like not even once a month, is sexuality, that's between a married couple, was considered okay. So all it was about was procreation. They'd stripped everything out of it, which was to do with the delicious tantric path of the connection of male and female, the dance, the love making, the fertility, And what we've got with Moon in Scorpio is there's an edge with it as well, because that suspicion came in so strongly that in what is still a patriarchal culture, and we're moving out of that into New Earth, then you've still got these edges which bang up against old systems of control. And so there will be secretive behavior around things that are very natural. There will be things like shame around things that will be very natural. And we've got an opportunity to break through some of that today. Some of the emotions to do with Moon in Scorpio, full Moon in Scorpio, are super potent. And I don't know if any of you I've had like a super potent day and week. I'll tell you what happened today. I was doing a yoga practice and my friend and neighbor jumped into the room saying the tree is being cut down. And it's this beautiful eucalyptus tree out the back. It's the tallest tree in the neighborhood. And for some months, I've been doing a very positive campaign on preserving the tree. My father is an environmentalist, and I've sent him videos, and he's assured me that the tree is safe, etc. And what's happened is a man who's doing renovations in his back garden. So you can read the motivation, like, oh, he's done renovations, and all of a sudden, all these trees attached to his garden are suddenly considered dangerous. And this reminds me so much of the Moon in Scorpio, because this was when women were considered dangerous. Sexuality was considered dangerous. Anything that was a full expression of self was considered dangerous. So as this tree was being cut down today, it was the whole day, like we've watched this beloved friend. And they haven't even left. They could have pollarded it, they could have trimmed it, but no, it's been made into a stump. And in this nature spot where I'm so used to looking at these incredible trees, tallest one in the neighborhood has been destroyed today. And when I look at the behavior around what happened and my emotions, because there was a point when I went into my radical activism, which is in me, and I was screaming as they were cutting off limbs of the tree, like it was the tree. And all the neighbors were out there, some were in tears. There was a guy who's lived there for 34 years, and it's actually in his garden. And they even bypassed telling him, and have managed to do it from the neighbor's side, who's this guy who's done some renovations, and he wants a nice, tidy little world. So nothing else is, sort of leafy and succulent and all the rest of it. And that is a symbol, I think, that's so strong for us in right now, what's going on the planet, that we've got, it was so sad. Oh my God. Totally devastating, heartbreaking. Whoosh. And I was aware that I was doing this with you, and you can see I'm still really upset, right? But there's a reason it happened on the full moon. There's a reason that we are connecting. There's a reason that this world is in a mess. There's a reason that people don't communicate. There's all of that. And then if you add in the layers of it, that people don't have expression, they go silent, they aren't able to say what they really want. Oh, thank you for your love. And I knew that this was going to be a super powerful working today, because as you know, I never know what we're going to do. We're just going to do it, and we see what comes out. And have a cup of tea, as my grandmother always used to say. One of the things that this is affecting is the healers on the planet. Healers who have to like be attuned at a high level, know that there are solutions to all sorts of things, and have to rise above these things, you know, have to somehow do something with this energy where you feel like it got me right in the throat chakra, because I feel so like, you know, upset, angry, all the rest of the things that you can imagine. But I felt like a friend has gone, and it was all bureaucracy, all of it. And what was interesting was the conversation that was going through the backyard was, well, it's legal. They've got a little form from the council which says it's legal. And I mean, I was in full powered activism at this point, but I was saying, Hitler was legal. You know, the burning of the witches was legal. The genocide of various indigenous cultures is legal. Donald Trump allowing guns to be on that level of mass destruction, extinction, if you like, is legal. You can name it. Like, legality doesn't bear any resemblance. Like, frickin' Hitler was legal. You know, I mean, it's like, come on. Once we get that, the argument about legality is an absurdity, an absolute absurdity. And some of us healers now, and we all are this group, and anybody who is tapping into the year of 13 moons will be deeply connected to this idea of the divine feminine. Just like Yvonne is saying here, they can never extinguish our light. Let the grief flow, exactly. And lots of people saying so sad. And then Dana's saying it's no coincidence that we have to deal with this crazy pandemic, and the Mother Earth is trying to survive, and humanity needs a huge shift. And when we need the lungs of the planet to work, like the Amazon, finally COVID's arrived in the Amazon, incidentally, with the indigenous. And that is terrifying, because there's not many of those original tribes left with all their ways and all the medicine in the Amazon, and they are the lungs of the entire planet. COVID is attacking something in the throat chakra particularly, and it's also reflected on the crown. It's named as corona, which is the crown aura, but it's affecting throat and respiratory. And so what we are able to tap in very deeply at this time is that it's also affecting, there's mass damage on the respiratory level of this planet. And we've got the impending new earth, which is an amazing mind shift. So even this we can get over, right? Even this we can get over, even COVID, even the tree, even all of that we can shift. But it's not about not feeling it. Moon in Scorpio is all about the feelings. So if you try and stomach some of the stuff that's going on, and you know, and under the title, oh, it's legal, keep your chin up, you know, carry on, you haven't got a possibility of really transmuting some of the stuff in your own life, which is so directly connected to the level of expression that you will have as a human being. That full expression, I mean full anger. Like, where is full anger ever allowed? Ever. You know, even children, when they have full anger, they're considered tantrum, you know, like just let them get on with the tantrum. But full anger of adults is not allowed, right? It's considered kind of ugly. We're not allowed to have it. And so this is that time when, more than ever, for us to be able to move through some of this stuff, we have to allow the heartbreaking sadness, the devastating disgust, if you like, the disgust of what certain companies can do to the planet and get away with it. And this is one of those kind of agreements that I saw today. It's just bureaucracy, you know, and it's legal. And so before I came on, I really know this is going to be like super freaking powerful, you know, full moon, because of the level of emotion. If I can go to that level, which I did, I mean, when I screamed, my friend Jan was saying, I just can't believe that you've got that voice. And it's like I was screaming for the tree as they were chopping its limbs off bit by bit. Not all day, but you know, a bit of that. Extinction Rebellion. And if I can feel that and I'm allowed to express that level of my anger and my sadness, then I will also be able to express incredible love, incredible passion, incredible sensuality, sexuality. And funnily enough, just this week, this is letting you in on a secret. I know that I know Monty, who'll watch this, knows this. But just this week, I had the most incredible dream, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'd been feeling myself up all night long. You'll have a laugh. And right in the middle of this dream, it was like I was being initiated into a level of sexuality that I've not yet had as an adult. And it was the initiation of 6 orgasms. And I think I was on the 6th. And it was like, I had this whole thing that it's like, whoa, you know, what is that level of expression? I was in and out of it. It was completely erotic. And I've also had, at the same time, I've had extreme anger and heartbreak about this tree today. I had extreme communication, very tricky conversation that I had to have yesterday, very tricky, so much so that it made me feel sick, you know, in my stomach, because it was a kind of team conversation, but it was like, so it was business, but it was still had that edge of so much tricky conversation. And actually I knew that when I was going towards that I knew that even the fact that I felt like that, my stomach was just like jelly, that I was up for a massive transformation because of that. I don't know if you guys get that, but when you know, when you're in the realm of the unknown and these extremes, you know, Oscar Wilde, when he was in prison for being a homosexual, and his best friend was his mother, they wouldn't even let him out to go to the funeral when he was in prison. And he wrote this book called De Profundis, which means profound. And he talks about the strings of the soul being like an instrument. And if you cannot play, that was when he was mostly devastated and heartbroken. If you can't play those octaves of those strings, of the hardest ones, then you also are unable to experience the height and the delight and the pleasure and all of those. And just before this, when I was coming on, I never know where we're going with this, but I felt compelled to pick this up. And this is probably relevant to most of you here. This is the healer's stone. It's for healing the healers. And so I really feel that all the healers here, this is the edge where you hold it in for so long and you try and handle things and you find that part of you is broken. It's never really broken, but you find it's heartbroken. And then we're going to shift this energy. And really, exactly, Dana's saying we need the mud to get the lotus. Yeah, exactly. So the only reason I'm explaining all of these things that I've gone through is because I have a feeling it's directly linked to this group as well. And it's directly linked to your levels of expression in the world. Maybe you want to say something about that. Has it been an easy time for you this week? I'm going to hold up another crystal as well. Because I'm just getting my breath back right now. But if anybody has had extremes of emotions, I'd be interested in hearing that. You know, if you just even want to write it down or unmute and just tell us.
I can speak. I can speak, Sally. I came out to sit underneath an apple tree right now, just to give myself some space. It's been an intensely emotional week. There's been a lot coming up for me, a lot moving through in relationships. We're going into like difficult spaces that we've never been in before. Working through a lot of residues of codependence and a lot of letting go. Being in a space where we can't even speak to each other or be in the same environment. And what I've been feeling energetically is like, you know, I've been building my business really rapidly over the last few weeks, and I got to a really good place with it, really expansive. But this week I just felt intuitively around the moon, and the emotions that were coming up, I knew I needed to take some space and just like not be pushing. So where I've had extra space in my diary, but I've had it booked in to send out follow-ups on leads and stuff, and it just hasn't felt right to do that. And I just felt to take some time to step back, come out, sit by the tree, you know, do what I need to do to nourish myself, because it's been so emotionally overwhelming, and so much coming up from really the depths, especially in my sacral chakra.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for connecting in on that. I mean, you know, even though this feels quite a vulnerable space to say these things, you're in safe space here. And it's like, I think sometimes, well, I've often said this in business, you know, flipping over to business briefly, that people do not relate to leaders who are just perfect. Like, you know, and it's true, like women are taught often to look perfect, to always, you know, have their makeup on and all. And what's going on in the pandemic now is hysterical. Like all the roots are coming through, your toenails are not perfect. I had a crown that fell out because they're doing this endless long implant, and it fell out in the freaking, you know, time when I can't go to the dentist. So I've got a tooth missing. And it's just hilarious. But when we can share at this level of deep connection, then you wait and see, because I'm going to go and channel this in a minute, and we see what happens with it. Because like I said, you never know, but I had this feeling that this is going to be super powerful. Now, in the same week that I've had all of this stuff going on, I'm having a look at some of you else, the others. So I'm just going to share some of this. Michelle's had a very intense week, productivity-wise. Alora, my beloved friend, she's had a very week. Yes, relationship challenge, very hard week. Felt burnout and a challenge with her roommate. That's always tough. That's communication ones. Sue Ann is saying, a few years back, my neighbor downstairs cut down a ginkgo tree because he did not want his son stepping on fallen ginkgos and before going into their home. I came home from my business trip and was shocked and saddened. I know, it's just like, it wrenches your heart open. And Yvonne has had a quantum leap week, huge breakthrough with a brand new business. I know all about that. Feeling more connected to spirit than ever. Brilliant. And then Sally is saying that she's been crying on client calls this week and sharing vulnerability. That's brilliant though. You know, that's when people really connect in with you. And I have had like actually one of the biggest accolades that I could ever imagine. So in amongst all of this stuff that's going on, because I'm working with this entrepreneur, Roger James Hamilton, and I've mentioned that to some of you. But I've now been invited to be on a summit as the branding expert in London. I mean, that's their name for me. I was like, come on. And it was like, seriously? I mean, really, even in that, on that level of, this guy is big. They are big. And they chose me, and they chose what I am speaking on behalf of. And guess what? It's all the really weird shit that I do in business that got me there. Not the straight stuff, not the stiff upper lip and wearing a suit and all of that. So that's the extreme of the de profundus, like playing the heartstrings of the lower octaves of the hardest stuff that you're dealing with COVID and being stuck inside and all of that. And then the other end of it is what we're about to have, right? And the massive expansions, the massive, like I want you guys to think quantum, like literally you're gonna have a quantum moment in a moment if you let yourself. So thank you, Michelle, I appreciate it. I mean, I really feel, I'm really in great gratitude for that honor, but I'm doing a talk next week for them, for that group. And I'm just blown away. Like, you know, who would have thought? And then Yvonne saying it's not weird to me, it's also very natural. Exactly. And Dana says you don't need public recognition, but it's great to get it. No, exactly. I mean, I don't. I totally don't. I've been doing what I do for a very long time, and anybody who's worked with me knows I have some really pretty unusual methods, but my God, I get down to the business of things, and definitely in finding people's branding and, you know, really what motivates them. I use extraordinary measures to go there. So that's what we're going to do. So Sue-Ann's saying as well, earlier this week, I received a message to focus on developing my spiritual side. I'm wondering how to balance this side and monetize. Oh, no, that's the perfect balance. Trust me, and I'll help you with that. And Sylvie says, I've got the edge. Thank you, darling. So would anybody like to just quickly go to the bathroom before we go into this? Please do.
Yeah, I've got to just plug my battery in, so I had to move out of the apple orchard. I've got to go back inside and plug in.
Okay, go in and plug in.
Awesome.
And, you know, what I do is I tap in at the very highest level, working with guides. And I don't really need to do it in an overt way. But before I come on any of these, I usually have done it already. I haven't done it this time because I was so blown away by the tree episode. So I'm going to just do it now while we connect. And then when you come back from the bathroom, just settle in, get comfy. You can start by taking a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And I want you to just feel where you are. Feel the energy that you have right now. And take another deep breath in and exhale through the mouth. And then another one of those, deep breath in and exhale. And as you continue to breathe, start to breathe with every cell of your body. You can do a body scan and notice the tone or the shimmer, if you like, of the energy of all of your cells in the body. And then notice if anything is dark or heavy or a little bit tired. And go into those areas right now and breathe some life into them and breathe them out. So often it's by recognition of actually what the constriction is in your body that enables you to even start to do the movement to get rid of it. So we're just doing an overall scan of the body right now. Keep breathing deeply. And I want to give you the word surrender at this point. As you go into this space, allow yourself to completely surrender. And for some of you, that will mean letting go. For some of you, that will mean losing control. And I want to remind you that sometimes, in order to do things as natural as sleep, we need to lose control. So as you're breathing into your body now, replacing all the dark energy with bright, vibrant energy, bright full moon energy, moon in Scorpio, draw it in as an energetic and start to fill it up at the back of the heart, replacing all the old heartbreak, all the silence, all the times when you were not heard, breathing it into the back of the heart. And exhale. And then start to breathe it in lower down. So we're moving into the sacral chakra. So lower belly. For women, it's all womb, ovaries, yoni. For men, it's lower belly, testicles, penis. I mean, really breathe in to your sex organs. And breathing out. Allowing all that energy to completely dissolve. And just getting in touch with this area, just allowing yourself to even be in touch with this area. You may even not know what you feel. Now, imagine that you're in the most beautiful place in nature, and it's an incredible clearing in a wood. And you've got your favorite trees around you. You can see trees that have got flowers on them, ancient trees, bright green leaves, and some of the oldest trees that you can imagine in the world, some of the sequoias, some of the redwoods, these ancient tree people surrounding you on all sides. And you connect at your heart with them. So there's a golden ray that goes out from the center of your heart, connecting in a pure 360-degree circle to all of these trees around you. And as you do so, you feel your feet on the earth. And if you look down, you notice that you have bare feet and you're standing naked in this circle of trees. These old friends holding you solidly, holding your energy, like they have been, some of them, for 3,200 years. And as you look down at your feet and you have a sense of what the forest earth is like, you feel a tingling at the base of your feet. You can smell the earth. It's got that delicious, dense, woody, earthy smell, rich like the forest. And you feel a tingling at the base of your feet, on the soles of the feet, which are actually chakras. They're energy centers. And on the left-hand side, you feel a root start to merge down into the earth. And it's just growing out of the left-hand side. And it writhes and wriggles and moves all the way down through the earth, while the other foot is just standing on the earth. As this left-hand path root goes deep down into the earth, you go down, 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 almost to the center of the earth. And you arrive at this pocket deep within the earth, which has got contained all the energy that the earth transmutes on a daily basis. Mother Earth, Gaia, this breathing, living organism, has the capacity to transmute some of the most extreme emotions on the lower octave side. And as your root from the left-hand side has gone deep down in, I want you to start to draw out of every cell that's still holding energy some of the darker emotions, and you allow it to slide down the left-hand side into this deep pocket, not quite at the center of the earth, but almost at the center of the earth. This is Shadowland, this pocket. And this is the container for some of the strongest transmutation, but it's not about not touching it. And your earth root has gone straight into the center of it. And like a sponge is drawing every droplet out of you, which has anything to do with holding back your expression. So scanning through the body and noticing the darker areas of your energetic, notice the areas that might have had heartbreak, the areas that have had anything to do with shame, any jealousy, any resentment, any envy, any disappointment. And it's as if you don't have to do anything. There's this strong energy of drawing this juice out of every cell that contains any of these ancient emotions. Some of them are as old as many lifetimes. Some of them come through your family lineage. Some of them come through teachings that you've absorbed as a young person. And you just allow them to slide down as the sponge of this root pulls them down the left side, and they slide like a gloopy mess all the way down that root, and they merge into this shadow pocket deep in the earth. And as you enter this space, you feel the immense silence. This is when things are so deep, you may not have words for them. You may have no sense of exactly what the emotion is, but you're giving it to Mother Earth now. You're allowing it to go down, sliding into this shadow pocket, and allow yourself to see any dark spaces moving down through all of your cells. And take a deep breath in through the nose and send it down. Send down any rage for the way you might feel about the earth being treated badly. Think of the particular things that upset you. Extinction of animals, destruction of environment, anything that is on an extreme level, even things like the burning of the Australian bushfires and the tragedies that we've had to witness. Send that down into this deep, dark pocket of the lower shadow area. And as you allow it to just be accumulating, and you feel this silence of witnessing something that is the same as any other energy, you start to notice that at the base of this cavern, there is a rupture in the floor. And you are 1 inch away from the center of the earth. And as that breaks through into this space, you feel at the center of the earth where all new life, new energy is formed, that crevice that opened and allowed all the shadow pocket energy to go into the center of the earth is transmuted. At the center of the earth, this is like lava. The earth is not fixed, is not solid here. It's being created afresh. And that break between the two spaces allows all this shadow energy to merge in with new earth that is bubbling like lava. And as you become aware of your right foot now, standing on the earth, you feel another root growing down rapidly, deeply down through the earth. The right-hand side goes swiftly through all the layers of rock and granite and soil and past roots, through fossils, and dips straight into the center of the earth, where all this newly formed earth is residing. And as you breathe your next breath, allow that energy to start to come up through both roots. You don't need to do anything with it except allow it to move up. Once you've invited it, it will continue moving, clearing and cleansing and feeling the balance between the left and right. It goes all the way up through the earth to just below the surface of your feet. And now feel this tingling as you're about to allow new earth to enter into your system. There's a buzz and a tingle at the base of your feet. And as you breathe in your next breath, take a deep breath in and invite this new earth to enter your system. As it comes up through the base of the feet, feel it entering every single one of your cells. This moves at rapid, energetic speed of light all the way up through your legs, through your knees, through your thighs, all the way up to the base chakra. And as you breathe in again, it enters into your sacral chakra. And all the energy of new earth, a very different energetic, is now coming into your system. Allow it to swirl and grow in your sacral chakra. Breathe into that space and even put your hand on your sacral chakra and breathe it in. I want you to imagine, no matter what body you're in right now, you're drawing it into your sexual organs. This is new earth entering. And as it moves up through the sacral and then into the solar plexus, I want you to feel how powerful you are. Feel that energy of power. As if you were standing with a group, not only of the trees that surround you in this clearing, but a group of tribal leader healers who are able to transmute energy at the speed of light. As it moves up into your heart now, breathe it into the back of the heart. And that ray that you had sent out from your heart to all the surrounding trees, allow this new earth energy to now radiate out to those trees. And as you do so, you feel the heart of you with the heart of the earth, with the beating pulse and rhythm of the sap rising. You enter into the consciousness of these trees, and you are able to actually rise with the sap. Your frequency has changed so much now with New Earth that you actually feel the attunement of ancient beings starting to join forces with you. And the energy is now rising, and we're moving up in frequency. As you feel a 360-degree connection of the heart with all these ancient trees, you start to feel that the heart of the earth, of Gaia, is also pulsating with you. And you are moving far, far up with the sap, starting to move all the way up into the upper branches of these trees, all the way along the edges of every single branch in these trees, then into the leaf system of these trees. And as you reach the top of the highest tree, you start to move upwards rapidly. New Earth, which was forged thousands, if not millions of years ago, is now merging with your heart capacity for feeling. As you go upwards and you start to view the trees from above, You can see yourself standing in this circle of trees now, high above, and still you're rising. And you're rising with this energy of literally the transmutation of Earth itself into a new realm of possibility. As you go higher and higher and higher, you find yourself going through thick layers. Some are more dense than others, but you find yourself now looking down at the Earth herself. And you see this interconnected world of the blues and the greens of the ocean, of the trees, of the life force, and still you're going higher. You move all the way up into the outer galaxies. And you know that you're being invited to somewhere very special. And as if you pop through a completely dense substance, all of a sudden, you arrive in this light form, and you are standing with a circle of tribal elders. These are the healers who have been not only in agreement to be here at this time, but these tribal elders are also looking to you as being one of them at this time. Look around the circle and notice all the different cultures, all the different types of faces that you're seeing. And in this space, there is no such thing as communication by talking. It is complete telepathy. So notice some of the people that you completely relate to. Maybe it's a particular tribal look. Allow yourself to look around the circle. And at the center of the circle, there is this incredible crystal. It's got many forks sticking out from it, and each one with a sharp point. And as you observe the center of this crystal with all the other tribal healer leaders, you now send your heart energy straight into the crystal. And as you do so, you are given a vision as if you could observe yourself with all the capacities for all the feelings, with all the experiences, with all the things that you feel were wrongs or heartbreaks, being equally manifested with all the greatest pleasures and the most delicious moments. And you're able to experience them as the same. Keep breathing into this. And as if you were able to understand at a very high frequency level that all the diversity, all the issues that go on Earth are also just considered from a neutral perspective as energy. And that there's spaciousness around each of these energies in order for them to occur at the same time. There is no such thing as bad or good. There is no favor over one experience than the other. Your vastness, your experience, just like the planet, is that it's all who you are. You are given a vision, allowing yourself to see the multidimensional experience of light frequencies, knowing that many of these sadnesses, the things that you reject, are just stories. And as you allow the transmutation to take place, that you are experiencing your vastness, as you are also experiencing the earth's vastness, to allow all these different feelings and tastes at the same time. All the tribal leaders know this. They understand the unity of experience, and that all experience is allowed and all experience is a story. As you are now aware of this crystal light coming out at a rapid frequency, allow yourself to dissolve any of those stories that still remain. Any of those stories that have a denser frequency, and allow yourself to see them as equal with all the others. And then you become aware that by a telepathic agreement of all the leaders who are there, that you have been chosen. And as you step into the center of this circle, they beam all their light frequencies at you, and you just receive. You're experiencing emerging, and you are experiencing at the center of you a liquid, which is the most delicious part of you, being given support, favor, love, permission to be as big as it can be. So allow this liquid part of you now to expand. Expand like a river. This is the higher octaves of experience. This is the highest frequencies of the layers of love for children, of love for animals, of love for partner, of love for the planet, a bliss love. And when you feed it with all the desires and the sexuality and the passion that you have, for the expression that you have, see how this river now turns into a vast river. And see how that river now flows directly into the ocean. This is passion at its purest level. The depths, and it goes all the way out in every direction of all the passions that you can imagine. The passion for travel, the passion for something that's very close to your heart, the passion for being a healer. And as if you now experience a strong contraction in the ocean, you feel like there's a sudden earthquake-like jolt. And that ocean now moves into your heart like liquid, trickling all the way down through your limbs, moving down now from the top of your head, crown chakra, third eye, down through the throat. And as it drips and oozes straight back down through the heart, and then down through the solar plexus, gathering up with it love and power and communication and psychic ability, it now oozes back into your sacral chakra. And breathe this in with 3 strong breaths to allow that ocean of passion to now fill every cell in your most sacred area. Take another deep breath in. And if you could imagine this liquid ocean now merging into your sacral chakra, full tilt expression, permission, gratitude, and sexuality, like as if nobody is watching. You can be anything you want. And now we will put it into action. So this energy that you've now condensed, bring it into an intention. Bring it into something that is an intention, but also an action. So you know, with this energetic, you now are going to put it to good use. And allow it to go into an action that you can see your full passion being expressed. And feel that feeling. And we're going to come out of this by rubbing our hands together. So rub, 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 rub. Generate heat. And then place your palms over your closed eyes and breathe in. And exhale. And again, keep your eyes shut. Rub, 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 rub. Place your hands over your closed eyes. Breathe in. And exhale. And one more of those. Rub, 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 rub. Place them over your closed eyes. Breathe in. And exhale. And now rubbing your forehead, your hair, back of the neck, front of the throat. Allow yourself to come back into the space and feel that tingling. Well, I feel very good after that. I don't know how you guys feel, but it'd be nice to hear from one or two of you to just see how you are. I mean, I actually really was so blown before I came onto this, and now I'm so grounded. Alora, Shazia, feeling connected. We can do anything. Does anybody want to speak? Anybody at all?
I can speak. Can I?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
It was great. I actually left my house and I went to the park and I lie down on the grass and I fell asleep. I mean, I've heard your voice all the way, but I was out at the same time as well. And it happens to me often with processes like that, but I think it's maybe better. So then my mind doesn't interfere. It was really amazing.
Yes. And so where do you feel it in your body now? How does your body feel?
I'm really rested, maybe because that I had a nap meanwhile. Yeah.
Great, thank you
You
for
can't
that.
see me, but I'm here.
I can see you. We can see you, Dagmara.
Thank you. Thank you a lot. It was really great. I didn't expect that. Now I feel rejuvenated.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
And thank you, Alora, for the way that hundreds of eucalyptus trees grow in thousands of forests. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And anybody else want to say anything?
Yeah, I will. I feel very intensely present in my sacral chakra. A lot of the pain that's been coming up for me has been around my bleed, and a sense of sacrificing the creation of a child in order to create the life that I'm living and the earth. To create the life that I'm living, but what the meditation gave me was a sense that I am birthing this new earth, and that's the birth and the creativity, and everything that I create is the birth and the creativity. It's a healing for that pain that I've been feeling. It's not a substitute, but for me it's been to acknowledge that that's the decision I've made and that's the pain that I'm feeling, not to try and correct that, but to be with it. And so a sense that birthing this new earth felt very healing in that context.
Yeah, thank you. Feels very united to me that there's just this solid presence with all of you. So I wish that you use this powerfully and that you can remember what your intention was to empower the intention and also the action. So there was an action that would be taking place. And that's the piece that we often forget, is like, what are we doing with all of this energy? Thank you, Alora. Stay well and swell. Yeah, I feel radiant. I feel like, honestly, I've gone through like such a trip today, is all I can say, but I feel really grounded. And when I look outside, rather than seeing a devastation, I'm going to see beauty. Right? Like that. Yes, Sue, we will send out, I'll send it out. I think it will be sent out tomorrow, though, because it's my assistant who gets the replay, but it will be sent out. So for everybody, go look at the moon tonight when you can. just know that we can deal with anything. And that's part of this moon. It's all about that stuff that we often dodge around and don't want to feel. You've felt it now. You've allowed that to be transmuted. And feel the empowerment that you feel when you're able to really like fully express at that level. Like all of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So go now, create something incredible with this energy. And part of us is what we're doing here is we're connecting at a very deep level to the earth as well. We are on the earth. We've chosen to incarnate this time around. So it's about connecting in on that level as well. And I will see you next full moon, which I think will be a slightly easier one. What's the next one? It's Sagittarius moon. So it's the philosopher, explorer. But this one is the one that really, if we allow ourselves to feel that deeply, there's going to be some major shifts for you in your life. So I wish you much love and blessings on the full moon. And I'll see you next week. For anybody who is with me on other levels, I'll see you next week. Pleasure. Bye, everybody.